Good Monday morning. It's another lovely day in the Pacific Northwest, and I'm coming to you today to talk about the inner voice, the inner wisdom that everyone has access to. And more importantly, why can't we always access the inner wisdom? It seems like there are some people that can access their inner wisdom and they can deliver really good information, like they're channeling really good information, or they're bringing intuitive information through, and it's like, oh, that's so easy. I should always go ask someone else for my answers, or I should always ask someone else to give me, tell me what to do and what's best for me. And what I want to talk about is that sometimes that, of course, is super helpful, absolutely. But in between the times that you talk to someone else, you should be able to access your own inner wisdom to get your own answers so that you can continue forward without getting stuck. Because I think getting stuck is often a theme when we're listening to our inner critic, our mind, the part of ourselves that has so many opinions. So why is it difficult to tap into that inner wisdom? And I've always considered myself fairly intuitive from a young age, but it was when I was doing so I'm just going to tell you a story, a little bit of a story to illustrate kind of how I came to trusting my inner wisdom. So when I was doing the intuitive development training, the psychic training, part of that, in fact, the whole point of doing the intuitive development is to have a relationship with your inner wisdom, with your soul, your spirit, the part of you that is connected to all that is connected to all possibilities, in order to be able to really know what is true for you, what is real, to find the perspective that perhaps will unlock some of the emotional turmoil when it comes up. And I'm happy to say that eventually happened, but at the time, when I would ask my spirit, my inner wisdom, a question, I didn't get any answers. And I was like, I don't have an inner wisdom. I don't have a spirit. Like, she's gone. She's missing. And I would ask a question, and I'd be waiting, and I didn't get any answers. And I did that every day for a year. And eventually, at some point during that year, I kind of sort of got an answer, and then I would write it down. And it wasn't, super complex, life-altering questions. It was very simple, very simple about my day, maybe colors, or food, or what to eat, what to wear, and stuff like that. Something that wasn't taxing. And what I discovered was that the voice of my inner wisdom was very subtle. She was very subtle. And she came with a feeling of rightness and comfort and love. And so when I would receive an answer, I would receive it maybe in words, maybe in images, in a thought, and with a feeling as a backup. So I received answers in layers, layered. It was layered. I thought what I expected was that I would ask a question and boom, I would have, yes, you must prepare broccoli for dinner tonight. Or, yes, you must take the path on the left for your life journey. I thought it would be so obvious. But that was so helpful, because then I knew how to look for the wisdom that was coming through. I was looking for it in the wrong places, and so that's why I was missing it. So why is it hard to hear your inner wisdom? Well, our inner wisdom is connected to all that is, to the universe, to the divine source, to potential and possibility that is beyond our human understanding and our human capabilities, really. But our mind, the mind that provides all kinds of stories and different interpretations and opinions, is grounded in the physical. And sometimes, or probably always, our physical reality grabs our attention more than anything else. Like, we cannot ignore color, we cannot ignore the sound or the images or the people around us. That it's right in the face, right in your face. And so when we are attuned to the physical, that's kind of how we operate. It's like, okay, well, I've got to see something, I've got to hear the right thing, I'm going to listen to the news, I'm going to read the paper, I'm going to, go on social media, I'm just going to gather information. And there's a lot of information out there. And if we don't have a way to filter it, it's going to bombard our senses and trigger an emotional response until we are literally in the physical body and cannot find the quiet voice of reason and wisdom that is our spirit, is our inner voice. If we're looking for wisdom in the physical 3D reality, we may not find it unless we are open to hearing, seeing, sensing signs. So why is it hard to find the inner wisdom, to hear the inner wisdom? We have a mind full. We have a mind that's being trained to be intellectual, to be to talk, to argue, to discuss, and to bring things into right and wrong, black and white, yes and no, either or. And our mind is always looking for one thing or another and an explanation of why that is. And our mind can be like tapped into any particular age, any particular personality of ourselves or someone else that's influenced us. So, I'm sure I'm not the only person who hears or feels my parents' voice come in. It's like, who do you think you are? What will people think? And I'm like, wait, that's not my inner wisdom. That's part of my mind that wants me to pull back, to be invisible, to be ashamed. We have all kinds of emotional responses because our mind is constantly telling us things. And in a situation where we don't have the space, or we haven't created the space to sit with our inner wisdom, then we're not going to get that different voice coming in to give us information or to give us insight or inspiration. Now, if you were a hermit and you lived at the top of a mountain and you spent all day in prayer and meditation, it would be way more easy to listen to what's possible, to listen to the voice of your spirit, and to see a different perspective, and to connect with love and possibility. However, we live in the world, and we live in the world as humans, but we are also spiritual beings. We are both. We are both and, which is where we hold paradox. We have a mind and we have inner wisdom. They may have very different points of view, but they're both right in their own way. So unless you have a practice or some kind of daily habit or practice that is creating a space to listen for your inner wisdom, then it's going to be that much harder to really come to center when you are upset, triggered, emotional, or something horrible happens. I mean, 2020 has been a year of so much struggle and crazy shit coming out, and you know, everyone's like, I don't know what to believe, like what's true. We've been bombarded with information, and then bombarded with people saying that isn't true. Here's the real information, and then, you know, no, that's not true. Here's the real information. And if there's any time in history where we need to be tapped in to our own wisdom, to the source, to the universal oneness of possibility, it's now, where we can feel, sense, and feel that body sense that, okay, I feel that this is right for me. And because we live in paradox, what's right for one person could be wrong for someone else. I mean, we're really in this strange place where truth seems to be in the eye of the beholder. But my thing is, find your own connection to what is possible, what is true, your own inner wisdom, and rest in that. Come from that place, not come from the reactionary place where the mind is like, oh no, don't do that, do this, or who do you think you are? You're such a failure. You know, we come to so many conclusions because our mind is telling us what we should be doing and what we shouldn't be doing. And I know a lot of people already know that meditating, quiet time, prayer time every day is an important habit. But it can be hard, you know, it can be hard to stick to it. And, you know, that's why I really like working with groups of people, or learning in a group, or teaching groups, so that there's like this shared learning, shared accountability, so that you're developing habits and going deeper in them. Because there's always more to learn, there's always more places to go on the inside. But to expand on the inside is the way, this is what I'm proposing, to connect to the spirit, connect to inner wisdom, and expand what's possible for you from the inside, so that when you're in the physical world, your mind is then at the service of your own wisdom. Your mind is at the service of that inspired action that you're taking, rather than your mind being in charge and your body and your spirit being like, are you sure this is the right way to go? I'm feeling tired, I'm feeling stressed. And your mind's like, no, we have to do it this way. Do it. That's just such a hard way to live. It's not sustainable either. So if you're a human in the world right now and you're not meditating, you're not creating space to read, to journal, to create, then this is, you should start. Definitely start. It will make all the difference. And for the people that I've seen in my practice over the years, when they take on this when they take ownership of the need to create a daily meditation practice, everything shifts so much more quickly in the direction of what they want. So I'm just curious if you have, if you have a daily practice or not, and what you think has been the benefit from that. And if you don't have a daily practice, what's preventing you from that? What's stopping you from carving out the time and sitting down and really being with yourself and developing that relationship with your inner wisdom? Because I get it, it's not always easy, but it's definitely worthwhile. Okay, have a great rest of your day, rest of your week, and I'll see you later in the week. Bye.